Before we start the video, I would like to warn you, some images may be experienced as shocking.
A jury unanimously recommending that the defendant be sentenced to death.
Emotions run high as the man convicted of brutal murders in 2013 is sentenced to death.
Hi, this is Ray from CourtroomConvicts with another exciting video. This time, we will be talking about the reactions of brutal killers on being given a death sentence. Killing is an unforgivable sin, and brutally killing someone is even more unforgivable. It goes to show that the murderer actually enjoyed killing the person. Yes, such sick people live in this world. We bet you are curious about how they react when they are faced with the consequences of their horrible deeds, and that to a death sentence. So, without wasting further time, let us get straight into the video. Note, this video contains sensitive content, so continue at your own risk. Number 1. Jeffrey Dahmer.
Your Honor, it is over now. This has never been a case of trying to get free. I didn't ever want freedom. Frankly, I wanted death for myself.
Many of you might already know the horror stories surrounding Jeffrey Dahmer. He is nicknamed the Milwaukee Cannibal, or the Milwaukee Monster. The murder and dismembering of 17 men and boys are named under him. The families of the victims were counting on the court to help them find justice. Eventually, the court sentenced Jeffrey Dahmer to 16 consecutive life sentences for all the murders he committed. Jeffrey addressed the court for the first time and apologized for his actions. Whether his apology was sincere or not, we will never know. Number 2. Ted Bundy.
A judge in Miami today followed the jury's recommendation and sentenced Theodore Bundy to die in the electric chair for the murder of 2 co-eds.
During the 1970s, or even possibly earlier than that, Ted Bundy killed, raped, and kidnapped countless young girls and women in America. He later confessed to killing 30 young girls and women. But people believe that his true victim count is likely significantly higher. Ted did not seem to be alarmed by the death sentence that he received from the court and headed out of the courtroom as if he was just going home. Number 3. Mikhail Popkov. Mikhail Popkov is the nightmare that many females dread. He is a serial killer rapist and necrophile, and is said to have committed sexual assault and murder of over 78 girls and women in Siberia. Not to mention that he is suspected of killing not 78, but 83 girls and women in total. For all of this, he was sentenced to a second life sentence. In addition to that, for those who don't know, Mikhail was put inside a cage so that he doesn't hurt anyone during the trial. That's how dangerous he was. While his sentence was being announced, he just stood there looking disappointed. Number 4. Martez Abraham.
Yes. And you admit that you shot him in cold blood?
Yes. Abraham was convicted of the murder of 2 people inside a convenience store and also of shooting a police officer. In the surveillance video from that day, you can see that Abraham entered the store wearing body armor and carrying several weapons and opened fire. As a result, Martz killed the managers, Anthony Brown and Brandon Gales. Subsequently, he was given a death sentence for his crimes. Another note worth adding is when Abraham was shown the CCTV footage, he went on a total meltdown and became very jittery. You could also see him getting novels when he received his sentence. Number 5. Michael Brady.
A jury unanimously recommending that the defendant be sentenced to death.
Having an abusive father who did not care about his mental health, Michael's criminal record started in his teenage years. As a teenager, he was part of a drug and burglary ring that was responsible for break-ins. He went on to commit even more crimes over the next several years and was ultimately caught and sent to prison in Vermont. There, he and 3 other inmates tried to escape by killing 4 prison employees with daily supplies such as hammers and scissors, only to get caught. The jury saw it fit that he be given the death penalty for his crimes. When listening to his sentence, Michael looked dazed. Liking the video so far? Quickly subscribe and become a part of our community of crime fighters. Number 6. Nico Jenkins.
Emotions run high as the man convicted of brutal murders in 2013 is sentenced to death.
In 2013, a month after Nico completed serving his sentence of 10.5 years for carjacking and assault, he went on another killing spree. He committed 4 murders and said that he committed the murders at the command of the ancient serpent god Apophis. The court saw through his act and found him competent to stand trial and was sentenced to death in May 2017. At the time of being sentenced, not any type of remorse could be seen on Nico's face. This brings us to the end of this video. Comment down below on your thoughts about the reaction of these brutal killers, and don't forget you subscribe to our channel.